Hello. I see that has just come in. I was just working on the Sophicula Kahoot, so yeah, don't worry about being late. Is it picking up my audio? Good, it is. Alright. So, I was just talking to Mutter about the guy that was being. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, guys can be creepy often, so I am sorry about that. If you need me to come and straighten him out, I am happy to, but I don't feel like that would help very much if it's a guy being creepy. It'll just make it worse. But if you need me to, I am happy to help if you think it's worth it. He was weird. Weird. I did not want his. What the fuck? That's something I'd write in Sophicula. A guy trying to give someone candy. That is creepy. It's good. I hope you didn't. I doubt you took any action. I don't think I need to say that. I am curious why he was trying to give me candy. That is a good question. I've got. If I was just making a guess, either A, he was flirting with you, B, the candy was drugged, or C, he was high. One of those three. Honestly, yeah, that's fair. So good job for doing that. Yeah, I won't keep reminding you of it anymore, but yeah. If you need me to come and talk some sense into him, I am happy to try, though I don't know how much help that would do if he keeps bothering you. Yeah, I am willing to do that if you need it, so I don't like people preying on minors. So I'm so cool he was spooky though, thanks. But I do not know who or where he was. Oh, alright, that's good then. Alright, now I will get into reading Sophicula to try and help ease your worry. No, not worries, memories. I'm not a minor. You're not? Oh, I was unaware of that. I thought you were Sophie's age, and I think she's 17. So, yeah, well, congratulations on not being a minor anymore. I, I can get tattoos now. Yes, that is very big. Now, I will start reading Sophicula now, though, unless you want to talk about tattoos or something. If you want to do that, I'm fine with that as well. Close this. Alright, I will return to editing that later. Sophicula, Part 12. I do not remember the voices, so everyone will be having an entirely new voice this time again. Sophicula grinned as she parked Cubliquacious Watt, question mark, question mark, question mark, 911R-Omori. She had stopped the cube car in an abandoned Walgreens parking lot. She had one thing she had to do before returning to her manor, quotes around manor. Ziox poked his head up from the floor in front of the back seats of Cubliquacious Watt, question mark, question mark, question mark, 911R-Omori. Why have we stopped? He asked quietly. Shut it, Twink! I've got things to do! Oh my god, my voice is cracking so much. Okay, let's see if I can get out all those cracks. Okay, here we go. Shut it, Twink! I've got things to do! There, that was a bit better. Sophicula exclaimed. She threw her hands towards him, her palms colliding with the Twink's face with two loud slaps. That was me clapping, by the way. I was not slapping myself, so I don't think it'd bother you much if I slap myself anyways. I don't think you're Sophie, so... Where was I again? Aha. What was that for? He inquired. His voice shook slightly, his hands trembling with what Sophicula figured was pure excitement at being slapped. Shut up, retarded bitch! She shouted before grabbing the shock collar controller and shocking Ziox again. Stay quiet! I need to think. How about you make your goofy little twink appendages do the cleany and make the back seats not dirty? Ziox made a small noise as he curled up on the floor of the back seats again. She quietly took Ziox's leash and slipped it into the bike lock attached to her car's dashboard. She slipped the key into her pocket so the twink couldn't escape. all of her chores to keep her useless twink locked up finished, she leapt out of her car and slammed the door shut, taking in her surroundings. She looked back at Ziox briefly, and punched the air in front of his window to establish her dominance over him once again. The Walgreens was on Hatsunue Drive, which went past the rich people neighborhood of Hatsunue Highs or something like that. She pushed her left sleeve up and checked her arm. Tattooed onto her left forearm was a list of names. David Wasmart, Andreg Anderson, Madeline DeGray, Ubaldo Maldo Sheen, Jonna Hall, Nicholas Cage, Myrtle Melt Milton, that's all one name, Malachi Two-Salt, Adrienne Maldo Sheen, Tristan McTalkative, Demure Wasmart, that male lady, Laurel Laura Lauren, and Mayor Manson. All the names from David's to Tristan's had a scar shaped like a check mark by their names. Just 4 more, that was all, and she was going to get one now. She stealthily walked up the road, hiding in plain sight via the road being empty. She observed how neatly paved the road was, how the trees to her right and fields to her left made the road much like a pimple placed amongst a tiger in a window blind. She was lost in her perfectly coherent thoughts when she came across a bush. Much like the plastic tree she kept in her room to beat up, her face lit up, and she pulled her second sleeve up to lick the tattoo of Dazai on her other arm.
Dazai! 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 Take this, you big mean idiot! Garden bush!
She leapt at the bush and started attacking it, all while rubbing her Dazai tattoo on her face. She uppercut and lowercut, bit and spat, head-butted and kicked, punched and slapped, as she defeated her most powerful enemy yet, a regular bush. Your Sophicula impression is genuinely so funny, thank you. Stop, I give up, the bush begged, and Sophicula grinned widely.
Yay!
She exclaimed as she left the bush and started skipping down the road. She only got distracted a few more times and vandalized 2 stop signs before reaching the edge of the neighborhood. Hatsunue Highs was filled with ugly, dystopian 2-story homes with garages, yards, and no mold? It was fucking awful. But she had to lock in now. She couldn't focus on the lack of mold, Dazai, Miku, and the only drugs being those legal, illegal YouTube ad drugs bored moms took when bored 'cause bored. Sophicula slipped up to the side of one of the houses and hid beside a trash can. She pulled the lid up and climbed into the trash can before slowly lowering the lid down. The smell was like home, moldy, musky, and way too much Mountain Dew. It was nice. She produced her feet knife from its hiding spot under her stomach on her waist. She used it to cut a small hole in the floor of the trash can. Using her fingers, she pushed upward so the trash can was resting on her hands and its back wheels. Then she started crawling. Using her feet sense, she was able to easily find her way out from the side of the house without crashing. She felt her way around for a moment, breaking the mirror on someone's car, knocking over a mailbox, running over a squirrel, all normal things. She could feel the location of her target. She let her feet guide her, following their whispered instructions. It was a short journey, maybe just 30 minutes, before she found the right house. Her feet were screaming out in agreement. She crawled the trash can over to the location of the house she needed to be at, and she cut through the trash can's side. In front of her face was a basement window, just what she needed. She cut through the window and crawled inside with a shattering sound. She was in the basement. A single lamp lit the room. The aromatherapy of mold and dust flowed through her nose. Images of her feet room flashed through her mind. though it was quickly followed by brief glimpses of her childhood, distant and hazy, much like the people she watched through empty beer bottles. But there. A quick jerk, she shook the feelings and memories away. Her lips twisted into a sadistic grin as she skipped over to the stairs leading up into the house.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, I'm gonna get more feet, so,
she sang. She was up the first few stairs when it hit her. The aura of raw, ripe feet. Sophicula's entire body lifted off the steps and flew towards the door at the top of them. She smashed through the door.
Baby, I'm home!
She yelled out into the seemingly empty house. She was in a food preparation room. It had counters, a sink, and fancy china plates hanging on the walls. Sophicula stood on her tiptoes, because she was short, to reach one of the plates, and threw it into another plate, shattering both. She giggled and started dancing around the room, throwing shards of china plates into other valuable, decorative boomer plates. Once the room was a mess, she skipped out and into the kitchen proper. She took note of the brand new oven and rather fancy grandfather clock in the hallway. Its beard shifted and soft snores escaped the clock. Sophicula opened all the drawers, pulled out all the stuff, and generally just made a giant mess. The grandfather clock stirred, but was disposed of when Sophicula tossed a knife through the face of the clock. The minute hand stopped ticking. The clock toppled over with a loud crash. Sophicula giggled once again and danced into the next room. Every room was roughly the same, just stuff which she broke before moving on to the next. Eventually, she reached the final room of the house. Sophicula grabbed a vase that she hadn't wrecked by the door and kicked the door down. It was the master bedroom. She could tell based on the master bed. Quivering in a corner was a woman. She was in her early 40s, had hair the color of sand, wide amber eyes, and a shotgun in her hands. The woman screamed and tried to fire the shotgun, but Sophicula was faster. The vase was flying towards the woman the moment the door was on the floor, and it collided with a loud crack. The woman screamed in terror and pain, the shotgun falling onto her lap.
Please, I'm a wife and mother, don't hurt me, please. I can give you money. You want money? I can give it to you. Anything you want,
she begged. Her voice was rapidly shifting pitches, though the desperation was evident through all the screeches. Sophicula enjoyed that. This was one of her favorite parts, seeing these creatures beg for their lives. The woman's hands were shaking as she tried to pick the gun back up. Sophicula yanked her knife from its hiding spot and tossed it into the woman's stomach, causing her to scream in pain once again. Sophicula grabbed the shotgun and shot the woman in the head.
Hee 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 ha 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 ha.
Sophicula bellowed as she yanked her knife from the woman's bleeding stomach. She brought the knife down to the woman's feet and sliced each foot off. She didn't have the precise, perfect, clean cuts of a professional swordsman, nor did she have the gentle, careful slices of an amateur chef. Hers were aggressive, rough slashes that tore into the flesh and made a huge mess. Grinning ear to ear, she slid her knife back into its sheath and grabbed the feet. She carried the feet in her mouth, the stolen shotgun in her hands, and walked back through the ruined house. She went back into the basement, back into the trash can, and scooted out of the neighborhood. She pressed her back against the holes she cut so people could only see her dark gray hoodie through the trash can. She crashed and bashed into things, set off car alarms, even set a house on fire, before finally crashing out onto the main road. She ditched the trash can and ran. She ran through the trees. Cop cars and a fire truck raced past the road. None of them seemed to see her. She made it... Oh, hold on, I need to change this. She made it back to Cubliquacious Watt, question mark, 911R-Omori. Ziox was visible, asleep through the windows, curled up in the back seat. Sophicula set the shotgun down. She rummaged through her pockets before finding her Miku-shaped keys. With a click, the car was unlocked and she opened the trunk. She set the shotgun and feet down inside, closed the trunk, and climbed into the driver's seat. Sophicula looked over at the sleeping Twink and felt her heart skip a beat as she had a wonderful idea. A brilliant idea. The perfect prank. She wiped all the blood off herself and onto her hands that she could, then ran her hands all over his hands and arms. She then put her knife in one of his now bloody hands. She inhaled deeply, moved so her face was close to his hand holding the knife, then screamed, "Twink! Ah, stop it, Twink! Ow!" Ziox jolted awake. His eyes widened as he saw the scene in front of him. Sophicula, bloody, and him holding her at knife point. Oh, I need to add at knife point. For some reason it just says, him holding her knife. Oh, okay, that does make sense grammatically. His hands were bloody. His eyes widened with pure panic as he dropped the knife and backed away from her, trembling. I'm sorry, I didn't mean..." Sophicula glared at him and yanked the knife from him, killing the look of fear on her face and replacing it with rage. "You little faggot! You tried to kill me!" Her prank was going brilliantly. Ziox whimpered as Sophicula grabbed his shock collar controller and shocked him. It was truly a perfect prank. I jolted back to attention at your Twink scream. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Do you need me to tone it down some? I have the entire house to myself, so I can go completely unhinged. But if you need me to tone it down, or even do it like ASMR, I can. No, it's beautiful. Alright, well, if you do ever need me to tone it down, you can ask, so I won't be offended. In other news, the Foot Bandit has struck again. The target of this latest attack was Demir Wasmart, wife of local businessman Mayor Wasmart. Demir was found dead in her home in Hatsunue Highs. According to official reports, Demir was found dead with shotgun wounds and missing her feet. Another target of the Foot Bandit. Mayor Manson is currently at Miku Park, set to address the citizens of this fine city. VNN's very own Courtney Crunch is down there for us. Can you hear us, Courtney? A short pause.
Yes, sir, Mr. Hanover. By the way, you are incredibly handsome and so perfect. It's a shame your stupid, ugly, bitch-ass wife couldn't see that and left you for that billionaire with a swimming pool in his backyard. You deserve better, sir. Anyways, yes, I am here on the scene where Mayor Manson is about to address us.
Fucking idiots, Emmy grumbled under her breath. She reached over to the edge of her desk and retrieved her half-drunk Mountain Dew. Peanut butter horn, the fuck do you think of this? It's weird. Politics aren't really my thing. The awkward warble of Griffin came over her headphones. She glanced away from her laptop screen for a second, her gaze going to the spot visible under her bed. The sheets and blankets fell down just so, blocking the small TV from view. It didn't produce much light. It was barely enough she could see it. However, Emmy had grown used to it, and could now easily make out the shape of Sophicula sleeping in her bed, clutching her Dazai body pillow tightly. Ziox was lying in a puddle of his own saliva on the floor. I don't know why I find that funny. She turned back to the screen on her computer. Nothing's your thing, peanut butter horn. Just shut it. The mayor's about to speak. The camera, which had been showing Courtney Crunch, her bearded face, flowing dress, the tie which looked just like John Hanover's. Even her whiny voice was a bit like his. Well, the camera stopped focusing on John Hanover's poor attempts at drag and zoomed in on the island in the middle of the Vocal Lake in Miku Park. To call it a lake was an insult to other lakes. This one was barely larger than a pond, only having a diameter of 30 feet, if even that. The island was about a third of that size and located almost perfectly in the middle of the body of water. A stage was constructed on the island, with a microphone stand, some benches, and some speakers. Around the island were a bunch of lawn chairs. No one sat in them, of course. They were there to gather rainwater. The actual citizens who showed up to this drag were all standing off to the side, far enough from the island their shouts, screams, demands, and boos couldn't be picked up by the speakers. One of the people sitting on one of the benches stood and hobbled towards the microphone. He was an older man, in his mid to late 60s. The top and sides of his head were bald, but he had enough hair on the nape of his neck and back of his head to pull it into a ponytail. He hobbled on his cane, sporting a "Trump is what's up" pin on his worn tan suit coat. "Good evening, people of Kinchville," he spat, his mouth releasing more saliva than it did words. "We hope you're all doing well on this fine evening." "You said this was recorded this fucking evening, PBW?" Emmy questioned, as she pressed pause on the laptop screen. Yeah. You asked me to record all major local news broadcasts. Why did you ask me to do that?" "Boredom," she groaned, taking another swig of her increasingly empty bottle of Mountain Dew. This is what you do for fun?" Emmy didn't bother responding to PBW. She merely unpaused the video and continued the watch. Do you all feel unsafe now with the flood?" "Foot!" shouted one of his advisors from the bench. "Oh, Foot, with the floof bandit on the loose. But my close friend, the only millionaire in our town, Mr. Mayor Wasmart, has slept put in charge of stopping the fetus graver." He coughed again and started to hobble back to one of the benches. There was a smattering of polite but unconvincing applause from the small crowd gathered on the side. "Well, that was Mayor Manson on the Foot Bandit situation. Thank you, Mayor Manson." Courtney was interrupted by a second man standing up and strutting down the stage like some idiot 80s plastic girl made of skimpy clothes and long legs. The man's comb-over flapped around like a flag, his sunglasses flashed in the sunlight, his bleached teeth were too perfect. He was Mayor Wasmart. He rocked up to the mic, did a spin, and stopped in a pose, his finger guns pointed at the camera. Emmy felt a fucking headache coming on already. "Yo, yo, yo, what is up, my fellow Americans?" he bellowed into the mic. No response. "Our dedicated, tough, impeccable leader, Mayor Manson, has placed me in charge of solving the Foot Bandit issue." I'm tired. I'm gonna sign off." "Whatever, PBW. Thanks for the fucking video, I guess." With that, the Discord disconnect noise played as the others signed off. Emmy shut off Discord. Oh my, I forgot how much I hate white male politicians. With that, damn idiot, gives me a fucking knee ache. She grumbled under her breath as she unpaused the video. Yeah, that is a fair thing to hate, though. I just hate all politicians in general, really. They're all stupid. Where was I at? Alright. And is this, hold on. Yep, that is Mayor Wasmart talking. "The Foot Bandit has caused us all a lot of great harm. Like me, Mayor Wasmart of Wasmart Enterprises. I lost my son and my wife to the Foot Bandit. But I'm okay. I'm okay. Please don't cry over it. I'm a strong, masculine man and don't mourn their losses at all. I certainly don't cry myself to sleep eating an entire 98% of a gallon of Cinnamon Toast Crunch ice cream rolls. That's a joke. You can laugh." Mayor Manson was the only one to laugh at his joke. Okay, but Obama was sort of chill from what I've heard. Yeah, that is pretty fair, I suppose. I don't have any issues with Obama, really. I'm just talking about all the presidents not even presidents, just politicians that are around at the moment. Yeah, I haven't really heard many bad things about Obama either. Though I have heard so many things about the current guy, don't even get me started on him. I'm still furious about the Epstein files. Where was I at? Buzzword Enterprises, Foot Bandit, blah blah blah. Aha, right there. Yeah, I think Obama was pretty chill though. Can't believe this is the fucking idiot assigned to stop Sophie. Emmy grumbled before downing what's left of her Mountain Dew. But me, being the cool genius I am, have made a Giga IQ play and teamed up with none other than a local legend to solve this case. She is cute. She is young. She has over 2 subscribers. Miss Juno Elbow. Emmy rolled her eyes. She paused the recording and stood up. She'd need another damn Mountain Dew if she was to listen to any more of this disease of a recording. She tossed her old Mountain Dew bottle into her bottle corner and padded out of her room. She went down the hall to the kitchen. No Mountain Dew. Fuck, she grumbled as she stared vacantly at the empty box. She must have drunk her allowed amount of Mountain Dew already. She'd have to get one from her reserves then. She padded silently down the short hallway, past her room, and stopped in Sophicula's doorway. Good, she was asleep. And her stupid slave was too. Emmy snuck into the trophy room. The overwhelming smell of mold, musk, and decay washed over her the moment the door was quietly pushed open. It was nostalgic, almost soothing. Well, it would be if such things were of importance to her. She closed the door behind her and softly crept over to one of the hooks. This hook was holding the feet of none other than David Wasmart, Sophicula's first kill. Hey, I'll be back 1 second. Oh, sure, I'll pause right here then. Oh, you're back already. Alright, that's great. Just one moment, I went back to edit the Kahoot a bit more. Yeah, and sorry if I offended you with my political thing of not liking really any of them. I don't care what anyone else's politics are as long as they don't try to, like, force them on me. So yeah, sorry if that offended you, though. And the hook, the other was least likely to... Alright, hold on here, I'll start back here so it makes more sense contextually. This hook was holding the feet of none other than David Wasmart, Sophicula's first kill. And the hook, the other, was least likely to check. You really didn't, I'm just confused by my PC's video card requirements. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I would offer to help, but I really am useless at tech stuff. I have to go and get Winter and then convince her to fix it because I just don't understand it. Emmy, I hope you are able to get it fixed, though. Emmy put her hands on the tip of the hook, being careful not to move the wire drapes over the hook and connect it to the dangling feet too much. She pulled back and held. She gave it a 5 count, and heard the soft click she was waiting for. She gently released the hook and walked over to one of the corners of the room. This corner was on the right-hand side of the corner with one of Sophie's stupid Miku cutouts. However, unlike the other corners, this one had raised itself a bit. Crouching down, she pushed her fingers under the wood panel and pulled. It swung open, revealing a ladder going down into the ground below. Emmy stealthily and silently maneuvered herself onto the ladder and climbed down a few rungs. She pushed the wood panel back into place, waited for the quiet click of confirmation, and she started to climb down. The shaft was about 15 feet deep, damp and very dark. Even Emmy struggled to see in this darkness. But there was a... Oh, that should be faint, not giant. Hold on one moment. But there was a faint glow at the bottom. She emerged from the ladder shaft and into a square room. The length from one side of the room to the other was maybe 15 feet. A desk sat against the wall she emerged from. Scattered around on the desk, not sure why that says on the desk was a variety of notes and papers. A printer lay beside the desk, its power button glowing a faint red. The light, she noticed, had come from cheap lamps dangling from the ceiling. A large wooden pillar was in the center, holding the entire room up. Located on the back wall was a complex mess of servers, computers, and other technology. The entire room just had a feeling of cancer and sickness to it. Emmy crossed the room to the huge stack of Mountain Dews she kept down here in case of an emergency. Grabbing one, she shoved it in her pocket and turned to leave. However, the desk caught her eye. She walked over and looked down at her papers. Grabbing a blank sheet, she wrote down some basic phrases. Not yet. It's going well, but it's not quite time. A little more time. She placed the paper in the copy tray of the printer and shut the tray. She returned to the ladder and left the room, and climbed back up the ladder. Alright, Sophicula Part 13 finished. Now on to Part 14. Where's my water jug, though? I do need to get a sip of water first. There we go. Sophicula, Part 14. Jordan sat on the balcony of the treehouse, his iPad in his hands. He was on Roblox Type-Aura Farmers, a game about becoming the most powerful user of Aura. His fingers masterfully danced over the screen, dominating the bots, 2-year-olds, and predators on the game with ease. I Heart Miners 6.99 wrote in the chat, "Cheater! You cheated! Also, are you underage and do you have a Discord?" Jordan ignored him. Roblox was his time to aura farm, not deal with the average Diddy wannabe. A pop-up appeared on his screen. It read, "You have gained 5 skill points. Invest them?" Jordan quickly went to the stats menu in the game. He only had one skill that he hadn't maxed out yet. It was ITW. He had no idea what it meant, nor was it visible when he played Roblox on his old phone, the one Caleb broke. It didn't appear on his computer back home either. He hadn't invested in that skill at all, but now he had nothing else to invest in. He pressed it 5 times. 5 out of the 50 vertical rectangles filled in. Once it was filled in, he felt a strange sensation in his bones, as if he was flying. His eyes changed to a glassy white, and his body went limp. Jordan found himself looking down on his own body. What the flick? Am I on Fent? No, you are not high, young Jordan. A deep, aged voice spoke up behind his vision. Jordan shifted around to look. Standing there was a boomer. He was bald, with a long chin beard that stretched down to his waist. The rest of his face was clean-shaven. He had an eye patch over one eye and a monocle, monocle, that's how you say it, monocle over the other. On his head was a hood, with a cape billowing out behind him. Who are you? John Pork? Jordan asked. No, I am the one who added the ITW skill to your motion picture pressing thing. There is very little time for me to explain. It costs much aura to remove one spirit from their body. That is why I have given you the ITW skill. I'm so sorry, I'll be back. Give me 1 sec. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm back, Diva. Sorry. You need to just go. If you've got stuff going on, I don't want you to be spending your time listening to me read Sophicula. If you've got more important stuff to do. Alright, well, I will just. This part is pretty short. It's literally just. Oh, okay, so it's literally just your video card. Alright, then, well, then, yeah, sure, that's fine. If you need to go again, just let me know and I'll pause. It's. Right, so here, I'll just start reading the quote from the beginning again. No, I am the one who added that ITW skill to your motion picture pressing thing. There is very little time for me to explain. It costs much aura to remove another spirit from their body. But, young Jordan, there is grave danger ahead. You must be prepared. That is why I have given you the ITW skill. It started in your game, and now you've unlocked it in real life. Boost that skill, become stronger, and maybe one day you can take on the title I am growing too old to keep. What is that title? Jordan inquired. Aura Man. What is Aura Man? And who docks my IP? I didn't give my name out to you. No more questions. My aura is draining. All will be revealed in time. Improve your aura, and don't mention this to anyone else, even your best friends. With that, Aura Man faded out of reality. Everything went black. Jordan's eyes burst open and he found himself on the balcony again. Huh, weird dream. Hopefully it's plot relevant, he mumbled to himself. Alright. Sophicula, part 15. Let's see who is talking. Okay, I see. The old hinges groaned in protest as the door shut softly behind her. I forgot, what voice did I give her? I'll just give her a new voice. Hey, Wen, I'm back, Laura Lauren declared, lounging on the sagging and Dr. Pepper stained couch just where Laurel left. Why does it say he? I swear, Emmy, every time I come back to check over this part, it replaces this her with here. I don't know why. It keeps doing this. It is here. Just where Laurel left her was Winter Barksworth. Her face was hidden behind her long sheets of dirty blonde hair. Her fingers raced rapidly over the keyboard of her laptop. Hey, Winter grunted. A straw dangled from the younger girl's lips, the tip darkened with Dr. Pepper. Laurel rolled her eyes as she looked at the top of the other's head. The crinkling sound of paper slowly being compressed down into atoms sprang up as Laurel marched over to the rickety old table and flopped the full trash bag she was carrying down. I've got today's haul, Laura grunted as she dug her vape out from her pocket. It's not as good as yesterday's. She placed the vape in her mouth and pressed down on the switch to turn the device on. Her shoulders almost instantly relaxed some as the cancer fog flowed into her lungs. I've got some staplers, a few packs of pins, one of those levers which changes the height of office chairs, some Tupperware, and another coffee machine. Winter finally looked up, her deep-set brown eyes locked onto Laurel's own heavy brown-colored eyes. We need $50,000 more. Laurel grunted in response. Yeah, Lee's prices aren't cheap. Laurel looked up from the table and over at the living area of the apartment. The couch was pressed against the wall beside the front door. The shoes were piled up on the other side of the door. As for the floor, it was covered in papers, jackets, potato chip wrappers, and Dr. Pepper cans. The smell was a strange, almost nauseating mix of Dr. Pepper, nicotine, potato chips, and long-forgotten pizza boxes. The TV was set up on an old coffee table. Playing on the TV was wavering lines and crackly audio that vaguely constituted AMVs. Where's your brat? Winter pointed down the hallway, which had one door on the left, one on the right, and one at the end of it. My room, jolly, and jubilant, didn't feel like leaving their bed today. Laurel grunted around the smoke slipping from her faded lips. She unloaded the trash bag and moved the items over to clear the counter, which separated the clean kitchenette from the mess that was the rest of the apartment. Laurel plopped down into one of the camping chairs around the kitchen table as she threw her jacket off her shoulders. Damn it, I'm getting a fucking headache. Screw you, Chief Graham. Winter tilted her head to the side as she watched Laurel. Something happened? Yeah, Mayor Manson gave Mayor Wasmart complete control of the police forces to try and crack down on the Foot Bandit case. I'm stuck working under that idiot, giving every officer a list of citizens to track down and interrogate. Winter shifted her gaze back to her laptop. The clicking of her fingers on the laptop followed soon after. Yeah, but just $50,000 more than we can escape to Canada. Laurel grunted in acknowledgement. Yeah, I'm not thinking of quitting. I make too much stealing trinkets from people I pull over to do that. It's just exhausting, working under a fucking idiot like Mayor Wasmart. Winter just stood up. I've got stuff to do. Talk to you later, she said. She patted Laurel on the head and walked towards the room at the end of the hallway. The door opened. A bright yellow cloud of smog was briefly visible, as was the sudden barking of 3 excited dogs. I'm back, lovelies, my cutie whittle baby pies. Mommy is back for you. Shall we resume our... The rest of the sentence was cut off as the door slammed shut behind Winter, leaving Laurel alone. Dumbass, she grunted as she took another hit of her vape. The crackle of low-quality J-rock continued to stream from the TV speakers as Laurel fished her phone from its home in her pocket. She turned the phone on and navigated her way to her emails. There she found one new email. Interrogation list. Laurel Laura Lauren. Day 1. Operation Brass Hand. Of course, the email was from Mayor Wasmart. Laurel groaned and reached over to grab an half... Why did it say N? It should be A. A half-empty bag of chips from the floor. She pressed some into her mouth and opened the email. It was a list of names and addresses Laurel would be visiting to investigate tomorrow. Excuse me, at the top was a short message. Oh, good afternoon, America! I am Mr. Mayor Wasmart, your new boss, best friend, dictator, and Sussy Baka. Miss Lauren, here is your list of people to investigate. If you have any questions, complaints, critiques, or statements, bring them up with your mom, 'cause I'll be at her house tonight. Good day, my fellow Americans. Mayor Wasmart. P.S. Juno Elbow is my second in command. What she says is what I say. Laurel pounded her fist on the table. Great. Just great. Of all the people she had to work under, it had to be Juno fucking Elbow. Fine, only 'cause I need the damn money, Wasmart. She glanced down at the list. The name on the top of the list was Sophie de Goify. The your mom joke did it for me. Yes, thank you. I figured, you know what? Mayor Wasmart is such a childish person, he would make a mom joke unironically. So yes, thank you. I was pretty proud of that one. Right. Sophicula, part 16. Wow, are you calling me childish? No, I'm calling Mayor Wasmart childish. I find the mom joke funny too. I'm saying he's the only character who I felt was childish enough to make that joke at this moment in the story is all. If I was calling you childish, I'd say you are childish. No, you are a, how do I put this without sounding weird? You are adult. I think that that's not too weird. So there you go, you are adult. And I'm gonna drink a bit more water, because I am addicted to water. Now, wow, thanks, Lowell. You are welcome. I give the best compliments. Like the other day, actually now that I think about it, I think that's the first compliment I've given in like a month. So congratulations. Anyways, back to Sophicula. Sophicula, part 16. Jordan, Pitigion, and Muscles watched over Caleb's shoulder as he browsed social media. Look! Tung Tung Sahur, that's so fire, Jordan commented as he pointed to a meme on the social media network. The meme contained the Italian brain rot icon, doing brain rot things. Muscles burst into his deep, explosive guffaw as he saw it. That's so funny. Ha 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 ha. Brain. Stop it, Caleb interrupted. This is serious. Muscles eyed Caleb. The PTSD from work, all the kids I can't. I'm so sorry, I had to address it though, because Sophicula is pretty much just brain rot. I mean, as I've been reading through this here for Twitch, I've noticed it's pretty much just a timeline of what memes were popular when I sat down to write it, and that's what made up like 90% of the references. Yeah, so in like 50 years or so, assuming the world hasn't ended, which it probably will have by then, people are going to come to Sophicula to find information on meme history. See, where was I? Stop it, Caleb interrupted. This is serious. Muscles eyed Caleb, his gaze narrowing. It was funny. I am Muscles, the strongest mortal man in history. I can laugh at fucking brain rot. Caleb ignored him. Come on, Galby, it was goofy, like a bird flying into grass. Pigeon reference? Squawk! Pretty Gion cut in. Yeah, brother, that was a bit rude. Muscles just thought it was peek-haw-haw funny, Jordan commented. Never mind, okay. Here's the information we released from the cops. Listen up. It says there are 10 reported deaths where the victims have missing feet. The first being 20-year-old McDonald's employee David, quote, Goddish, end quote, Wasmart on December 25th. The second was 20-year-old engineering major Andreg Anderson on January 2nd. The third... Brother, stop glazing. We already knew this, Jordan cut in. This was the same information Pitagion and Tristan McTalkative had cooked on. We did? We did? I didn't know. Squawk! Caleb groaned. His hands found their way to his temples, where he attempted to push the growing headache back into the darkness it came from deep inside his skull. Pitagion's bird brain, muscle stupidity, and Jordan going between playing Roblox and speaking about memes. It all flowed through his mind, the irritation and frustration. Well, this is the information the cops had. It's not on me that they are just as bad at their job as the people here in the SIDFAC. Brother, I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just yapping that you're not glazing enough right now. You're being a bit of a goofball. Caleb's eyes zipped over to glare at Jordan, his pupils trying to breach into Jordan's soul. The room was so quiet, one could hear the sound of the wood itself sweating. Pitagion was the brave soul to try and break the silence. Guys, I have an idea. Watch this! Pitagion spread his arms out and bent them at the elbows. Then he started to make squawking sounds as he ran in circles. It's burden time, he announced as he ran towards the door and jumped out. He flapped his bent arms as hard as he could, his nose facing the sun. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a squawk! Pitagion shouted as he remained in the air for a split second. A second later, he vanished with a loud smack was heard on the ground. Jordan and Muscles raced to the door of the treehouse and looked down. Pitagion, are you okay? Jordan shouted down to the gangly, human-shaped hole in the ground. Pitagion crawled out a moment later. All's good, squawk, pigeon reference, bird reference, squawk, squawk, squawk. Muscles lowered the ladder down for the non-pilot to climb back up into the treehouse. Pitagion climbed back up, his BLM, Birds Lives Matter, shirt covered in dust and dirt. That was awesome! Almost as awesome as my strength. Gah, Muscles! Muscles complimented. That was incredibly hype, Jordan added. However, a dark shadow soon came over their congratulations moment. I looked through the data. There was nothing of note, at least not logically. David Wasmart, Andreg Anderson, Madeline DeGray, and Malachi Toussault were the same age, 20. Ubaldo Maldo Sheen was the father of Adrienne Maldo Sheen, and Nicolas Cage is the 7th best Nicolas Cage impersonator in the country according to Yelp. There's no connection besides that father-daughter thing. Jordan's eyes lit up for a moment. Wait, hold on, let me cook on this. Pitagion and Muscles watched with bated breath as Jordan thought. Maybe. Could they have gone to the same high school if they're the same age? Jordan finally asked. Caleb stared at the other. How could Jordan be so illogical? No, there's no way that can happen. It's illogical. People move, stuff happens. There's millions of 20-year-olds here in Florida. Are you saying they all went to the same high school? No, but in anime isn't real. You know what? Fine, okay, you and Muscles can go check the local high school and see if you can even get the information. It's not gonna come to anything, though. I'll continue working on this father-daughter connection since that is proven. Let's lock in, Jordan said to the giant muscle man before they began to climb down the ladder. One moment. There we go. Alright, that was Sophicula part 16. Let's see, we started 12. Yeah, I'll read through 17, and then Well, I don't know. I could go a bit longer after 17 if you want me to, so I'll check in again after 17. The building which lay before them, lazily perched on top of... You type fast, goddamn. I don't think I type that fast. I just have a noisy keyboard. Here, hold on, let me go open up a new Google Doc, and then I'll type out... I will type out the last, 5 messages you have sent, and then you can tell me if that... And then I'll determine if that's fast or not. Yeah, I don't think that's too fast. I don't know, maybe it is, but I don't think I type too fast. I just have a noisy keyboard. It's just that you don't type with 2 fingers, honestly. Oh, are you talking about the chicken pecking? Yeah, no, I don't really do that. When you were younger, did you ever have to do that thing where your parents would have you sit in front of a keyboard for an hour every day and practice proper typing? You have one finger on the F and then one on the J key and then all the others on the keys beside that, and then you do that. I had to do that when I was a kid for years, so I just got kind of quick from that. I don't really do the chicken pecking. Yeah, I had to at school. I just cheated every single time. I wish I could have found the way to cheat. I tried to cheat by just typing the what is it? The keys it shows. If it had you practice J, F, D, and K, I just typed those 4. Only have fingers on those 4. I tried to do that, but it just made my scores worse, and then my parents would get mad at me, so I just started doing it the regular way. I got really quick at peck typing. Oh, good job. Very impressive. Most people I know who peck type are very slow about it. Yeah, not sure if you can hear it, but I'm clapping my hands for your quick peck typing. Sophicula, Part 17. The building which lay before them, lazily perched on top of Banana Hill, was quite underwhelming. It was small, only one building. Thank you. Oh, chat. Okay, you just accidentally put a V instead of C. Thank you, VAT. I'm going to start referring to chat as VAT now, because that's funny. The building itself wore a faded blue-gray paint scheme. The windows were all shut. The roof brittle and old. The parking lot was made out of dirt, with a single basketball hoop outside. There weren't many cars parked here, mostly bicycles and an old UPS truck which looked as if it had been converted into a school bus. The old sign out front read, Ginchville High. We're here, Jordan announced as he started walking towards the double doors that led inside the building. We need to Aura Farm on our entrance. They burst through the doors and into the high school's entrance lobby. May I help you? The lady working the front desk asked them as the doors closed with a soft click behind them. Hello, brother. My brother Muscles and I are here to cook on the Foot Bandit case. Happen to believe... Oh, no, that needs to be we, not happen. We happen to believe there may be some evidence here and wish to peruse your Google Docs files to uncover the truth. So many typos in this, I really need to start editing. And wish to... There we go. If you'd help us, that would be so hype, Jordan explained. The lady chuckled awkwardly and shifted in her seat. Look, gentlemen, I, in good conscience, can't let 2 adult men go through our records without any official documentation. I'm sorry. But look at my muscles. How can you deny muscles? Look at my muscles! Ah! Muscles tried to explain, flexing as hard as he could. His muscles formed the shape of another muscular body. Inside of them, they were so muscular. I can't. It's against school policy to let strangers go through our records. I'm sorry. Have you tried City Hall? Jordan opened his mouth to try and explain further, but was cut off by the sound of the doors closing behind him. Oh, look, Chad, it's that idiot who thinks he's prettier and better than me. Hee hee. The snooty, penetrating sing-song voice of Juno Elbow danced into their eardrums from behind. Jordan spun around to glare at her, Muscles doing the same thing. What are you doing here? Are you a minor? Jordan asked. Nah, I come here 'cause the kids here know to, worship a slaying queen of beauty and perfection like me. Ooh woo. Say hi to chat, Squiggle Bops. She waved her phone's camera at them. Jordan glared at her. Muscles stepped up beside him and crossed his arms. I am Muscles. I do not wave to little bitches, Muscles announced. Please, the front desk lady was interrupted by Juno. Oh, hear that, chat? Mr. Steroids over here dropped the bad no-no word in the middle of school. One that's filled with minors and innocent children, she exclaimed almost offendedly. Fuck this! Eat shit, faggot! Go kill yourself while watching me make love with your fucking mother and father! Screamed one of the high school kids from a distant classroom. We are not Squiggle Bops, we're Aura Farmers, Jordan cut in. I am Muscles, I do not wave to little bitches. I'm gonna be quoting that. And that is a good quote. It's probably Muscles' funniest moment in my opinion. Shouldn't you have started that with, well, actually? 'Cause you're stupid, wheat bread. Hee hee, you guys even look stupid with your jeans and those gray hoodies and your tank top and shorts and thick, juicy thighs. Jordan felt his mouth drop open in anger. Muscles roared like a lion. Oh, that needs to be Ann, not ND. I really am bad at typing. There we go, fixed. And roared like a lion and was about to spring at Juno, but Jordan grabbed him by his tank top. Don't. You'll lose aura for beating up a little girl. Besides, you've cooked hard on the case and are about to gritty. Needs to be we. I really do need to edit this. I'm so sorry about just pausing to edit it. And we are about to gritty our way to the dub, Jordan reminded Muscles. Juno just laughed. Hee hee hee. These two Squiggle Bops actually think they're better than me. Well, I hope you'll be ready to give me your friends stupid laboratory soon, because there's no way two gay little boys can beat me, a queen of beauty, prestige, and pose. Isn't that right, chat? Ooh woo. Jordan pushed his glasses higher up his face, allowing a self-satisfied smile to spread across his lips. Well, actually, we are ahead of you. We have a clue, one that leads right here, as many of the victims were of the same age and possibly went to this high school, which means the killer could have come from here too, Jordan bragged. Juno just stared at them, her face briefly falling, before she suddenly smirked. The smirk spread into a grin, then a smile in its own right. I doubt you've even gotten the information yet. Miss Nessa wouldn't let strangers walk around the school and dig through its files. Juno then pushed past them and sauntered up to the front desk. Her eyes widened and she pouted, letting a tear appear in the corner of one of her eyes. Miss Nessa, please let me into the records. I was your favorite student when I came here 5 years ago. Please? Tell her, chat. Tell her to let a queen like me in. Miss Nessa sighed tiredly and rubbed her hand. You know what? I don't get paid enough for this. I quit. Go on ahead. Juno jumped into the air. Thank you. I knew you couldn't resist my feminine charm. And she skipped over to a nearby door. Jordan watched, his eyes wide, as Juno got to the door. Miss Nessa walked around her desk and out the front door. Stay here. If Juno tries to leave, stop her, Jordan told Muscles quickly before he sprinted over to the door and down the staircase inside. It led down a few flights into the basement. The basement was dusty, damp, and dark, with just enough light getting in to give Jordan a basic understanding of his surroundings. He pulled out his new phone, as plot convenience, from his pocket and flipped on the flashlight application as he ran through the files. There were tons, from list of students who failed algebra to list of former students who became criminals, which was surprisingly large. Even one rather disturbing list of students who broke the Geneva Convention. He caught the occasional glimpse of Juno Elbow nearby, also using her flashlight to look while chatting to her stream viewers. Jordan looked and looked when he heard Juno's voice. I found the chat. Come on, let's go before those squiggle bops hear. And followed by stealthy footsteps. Jordan followed her out of the basement, up the stairs, and right to where Muscles stood waiting. Juno ran straight into Muscles, and he managed to snatch the book from her. Jordan came up behind her. Let's go. We were locked in, Muscles. I said right foot, and Jordan hit a celebratory gritty. Muscles handed Jordan the book. Juno Elbow stood there, her cheeks puffed out, glaring at them. Give me back that book! I found it, you idiot! Squigglebobs had to steal it from me! Help! Help me! I'm a young 25-year-old minor being held hostage by 2 adult men! They're gonna hurt me and steal from me! It's discrimination! Jordan just ignored her as he flipped the book open. He soon found it. The Ginchville High graduating class of 2022. There was a short list of names on there. Candace Olson, Marcus Johansson, Liam Drugson, Sophicula de Goife, Taylor Drugson, and the names Jordan was looking for. Oh, hold on here. Let me try to ban this. I don't know if I'll be able to. Aha! Ban. In one moment, sorry, I got a text. There we go. Anyways, now that that's been banned, I can get back to it. Jordan just ignored her as he flipped the book open. He soon found it. There was a short list of names. Candace Olson, Marcus Johansson, Liam Drugson, Sophicula de Goife, Taylor Drugson, and the names Jordan was looking for. The names he needed to see. Dave, also, I won a war against the... Good job! I'm proud of you. You have managed to defeat the computer. I would give you, like, a gold star, but I don't have one. So give yourself a gold star and pretend that I gave it to you. Let's see. And the names Jordan was looking for. The names he needed to see. David Wasmart, Andreg Anderson, Madeline DeGray, and Malachi Toussault. Christian McTalkative was there too. He was right. They all did attend the same high school. We cooked, brother. They all did go to this high school. Look! And he showed Muscles the page of the yearbook with their names and faces. However, before either could react, Juno moved. It wasn't much, at least not enough to cause Jordan and Muscles any reason to worry. However, quickly followed by that movement came the loud blast of none other than, I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows. They know me where it froze, I skied in and they froze. Neither Jordan nor Muscles could stop their body's natural reaction to that legendary opening bar, and they both started dancing. Muscles did the floss, while Jordan the gritty. Using their momentary distraction, Juno dove for Jordan, knocking him over like she was a drunk driver in a school parking lot. She grabbed the book before taking off towards the doors. It was all so fast, Jordan didn't even have time to process it before Muscles' voice broke into his brain. She's got the book! Jordan looked down at his hands, and his mouth dropped open. She did indeed snatch the book while he was grittying. That's not Aura! Jordan shouted at her as she ran to the double doors and started to pull them open. Muscles ran after her. Muscles! He shouted as he neared the door, his head bowed. Jordan ran after him. Muscles ran straight into the glass door, shattering it with his head. Juno was up ahead, scrambling into her car. See ya, Squigglebops, she sang as the giant SUV sputtered into life, and she reversed right into one of the employees' cars, causing it to explode. Oh, hold on. Is Dream having issues? Wouldn't be surprised if it is. And there we go. Are you still here, Finn? Or did I lose you? It just showed a sudden increase in viewers. I'm here. Okay, that's weird. Hold on, my phone, which I'm using to read chat, is having issues, so here, I'll put it. There we go. Maybe charging it will fix it. Jordan jumped onto the moped he and Muscles borrowed to get here, the buff bodybuilder climbing on behind him, and they took off in pursuit of the TikTok influencer. They scooted down the dirt road towards the town below. They could almost see the entire town from up here. It wasn't very large. There weren't many places a bright pink SUV could escape to. She burnt the food we were cooking, Jordan complained as they sped down the road, the SUV visible ahead of them. They could faintly hear some K-pop song blasting from the SUV. See. Aha. Do you remember the aura farming Goku did in Dragon Ball Evolution when he jumped on that guy's car? Muscles never forgets moments of insane human physical feats. Here's the new recipe. Yeet yourself onto her SUV like a skibbity and get riddy all over her, Jordan explained as they drew up closer to the SUV. Let's see. Muscles tensed up and took in a deep breath, preparing to jump, only for Juno's car to make a sharp veer right and cut across the grass onto #drive. She raced past the CVS, running a stop sign. Flick, that's not tough, Jordan cursed as he held tightly onto the handlebars of the moped. On 3, he explained, and he and Muscles counted up from 1. 1, 2, 3. They both lurched upwards as Jordan veered the moped hard to the right as well. It yeeted up into the sky, flying over the grass below and landing on its wheels on #drive, zooming after the annoying as fuck TikToker in the bright pink SUV. They zipped past the CVS, only to watch as Juno veered left, knocking a light pole down to block the road behind her. However, Jordan had experience playing Life Simulator on Roblox, and this didn't faze him at all. He cut across the CVS parking lot and emerged onto German Road. They roared past the Pegacorn bar, slowly but surely closing the gap once again. Muscles started kicking his feet as if it were a scooter, and they shot ahead, nearly catching up with Juno. Jordan shifted to the side slightly so they could pull up alongside, but Juno seemed to notice them as she threw the SUV left, forcing them into driving like fucking British people. A giant semi-truck was charging down towards them, its horn blaring. Juno didn't move, keeping Jordan and Muscles heading straight towards the semi. Planet Ruiner! Hava de Vivasa! Muscles panicked. Jordan felt himself sweating as well. He closed his eyes. Come on, Aura, he whispered to himself, before suddenly he felt himself start to expand and collapse inwards simultaneously. He heard the screeching of tires, the sound of the wind, felt last night's pizza rushing back up into his mouth. But they weren't dead. In fact, they were on the other side of the truck. It had worked. The aura farming worked. Maybe that weird dream had some truth to it after all. He saw Juno staring at them through the side window of her SUV, eyes wide. There was no way Jordan and Muscles just teleported through the truck. She didn't have time to respond, as Muscles gathered himself back together and leapt, landing on the back of her SUV. He had to redeem his honor after panicking, after all. Muscles! He roared as he bashed his head through the back window of the SUV and climbed in. Jordan watched as Juno grabbed a small pistol from somewhere he couldn't see and tried to shoot it at Muscles. However, the muscular man caught the bullet in his teeth and crunched down on it, eating it. Juno fired more, not paying attention to the road ahead of her, which was nearing a red light. And there were drivers going across the road. Jordan pulled right back beside the SUV and started to gritty while mopeding. It was enough. Juno glanced over briefly at him, and Muscles leapt forward and pinned her to her steering wheel. Hey, gay squiggle bob dancing, that's like cute or whatevs. She laughed. With a quick shove, Muscles knocked the influencer unconscious. Her car's horn, which was her own voice screaming, "Fuck you, slut bitch, I'm gonna eat your child," played over and over, her head still being pressed against the center of the steering wheel as Muscles slammed on the brakes and brought the SUV to a stop. He smashed the window open and tossed the book out to Jordan before escaping as well. Let's yeet ourselves to Spawn before she resumes life and tries to spawn camp us, Jordan commented. Muscles agreed as they started mopeding towards the Sid factory house. And so, Finn, sorry. I can go on a bit more if you want me to. So do you want a bit more Sophicula? Or is it alright if I get off for the night? Tell me you're crashing again, stream manager. I don't want to hear my own voice. I hate it. Alright, there we go. It's acting weird again. Oh, weird. Well, then, do you want me to go on a bit longer, or is it alright if I get off? I can go on longer if you want me to. I don't mind doing it. Check my it's the mic is working. Oh, you're good. You can be free, I think. Alright, well, I mean, if you need anything, or I don't know, if you need more Sophicula for some reason. Scary, I was playing a scary game, but then fodder came. Oh, sorry, I was playing a scary game, but then fodder came in. Oh, okay. That's fine then. But yeah, if you need more Sophicula for some reason, my family's gone tonight, so yeah, pretty much any time before tomorrow morning. I can read more if you need it for some reason. And he wanted me to take his prescription, and I was like, hell no. But then he was like, I don't want to hear you fucking cough. Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that, to be honest, because that is pretty weird. Yeah, you probably shouldn't take his prescription. I don't know. I don't want you to get in trouble, but I don't know if you need help. And I was like, Father, that's not how that works. I have pneumonia. Oof, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Pneumonia, I don't really know what helps with pneumonia, really. So, yeah, but I don't think it's prescriptions prescribed to other people, so no, you're good as well. It's just funny to me. Oh, okay. My cat is here. He says hello. Noticed you came the moment I stopped screaming, didn't you? Yeah, so if you need more Sophicula for some reason tonight, I'll probably be up. I sleep like 3 hours a night at most these days. So yeah, if you need it, feel free to text and I can probably read more. But if not, I don't know when I'll stream more again. It just depends on when my family's out of the house, because they'd kill me if they found out I wrote this. So yeah, alright, let me know if you need any more, and if not, I'll talk to you later then. So yeah, good night, and I hope your pneumonia gets better.